All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, Rich Cimini was on his podcast, The Flight Deck. Of course, I'll leave it linked down below in the description box to check out. He threw out that there could be some speculation about Garrett Wilson potentially requesting a trade from the Jets this offseason. Now, obviously, Garrett Wilson is a homegrown player, former top 10 pick. He's a very good player. And you still feel as though we have not seen his full potential yet. You know, I got to be 100% honest. If this happens, and again, Cimini, he's hammering this home, it's just speculation. It's not like it's imminent, it's happening next week or something like that. It's just speculation. But I gotta be honest here. I have a hard time blaming Garrett Wilson if he goes ahead and does this. I mean, the team has just been a dumpster fire. Despite him putting up a lot of catches, despite him putting up a lot of receiving yards year after year after year, it just kind of feels like everything around Garrett is just not working. I mean, the offensive coaching staff has just been a disaster. There's been, inconsistent quarterback play throughout the years. You never really feel as though the team values winning all that much, right? Again, just putting myself in Garrett's shoes here. Coming in, he's a big time recruit, goes to Ohio State, wins a lot of football games there. The expectation is really, really high. There's a massively high standard with the Buckeyes, to then get drafted by the Jets. And, you're listening to Robert Saleh, you're listening to Joe Douglas, you're listening to Jeff Ulbrich, Nathaniel Hackett, after games in the middle of the week. And it just doesn't even seem like it does not seem like anyone actually cares that the team loses. It's just like, hey, if we win, great. That's what we're working towards. But if we don't win, it is what it is. We'll just get them next week. Whereas, if you listen to a Dan Campbell, if you listen to a Mike Vrabel, if you listen to, a Sean McDermott, a Mike Tomlin after a loss, it's awkward. Like you sense the tension through the computer screen. These guys hate losing. So if you are, again, a guy in Garrett Wilson, ultra talented, he's putting up his own individual numbers, and he's been here for 3 years, and nothing is there's more questions than answers. I understand why he's frustrated. I understand why he could look at the Jets and say, look, this team just can, they just justify losing all the time. Where's the urgency? Where's the fire? Where's the intensity? Can we just get back on track? Can we act like a normal franchise here and, bring some accountability and discipline? I mean, it's excruciating listening to Garrett Wilson post game after a loss. It's like you just feel for the guy. He's one of the only members of this Jets team that you're just watching and you're like, the losses are just eating him alive. And it's hard to watch. Again, you feel for Garrett. I feel for Garrett. It sucks because there's only so much that he can do. Now, with that said, I don't think the Jets would actually go ahead and trade him. I think that they, would try to, sell the new regime on Garrett. Obviously quarterback is completely up in the air. Is it going to be Rodgers? Is it going to be Jordan Travis, Tyrod, Fields? Million questions surrounding the quarterback position. But I think right now the new GM coming in, the new head coach coming in, they would try to sell Garrett on what is going to be happening moving forward and saying, hey, you know what, we're done with this nonsense. Everything that you've come to learn about this Jets organization, just throw it out. We're going in a completely different direction here, which is, ideal in my opinion. As far as potential trade compensation for Garrett, it's tough because yes, he's not really getting paid. He's not owed a lot of money. And then that extra, that team acquiring Garrett would have that 5th year. So you could definitely argue that the Jets could get a 1st-round pick, in return for Garrett Wilson. But I really do not want to trade Garrett Wilson. I don't want to trade him. He was my favorite receiver in the class. I was so excited when the Jets got him. He's lived up to the draft position. Again, the individual stats speak for themselves. If he puts together, a couple of solid games here down the stretch, against, some solid teams, the Rams and the Bills, he could have another 1,000 yard receiving season. So he would start his career off with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons with all of the dysfunction and ineptitude that the Jets currently bring to the table every single year. I think we need to keep a guy like this. I understand, right, wanting to stock draft picks, give the next general manager more opportunities to build his team. You're kind of resetting the clock. I get all those points, and I would feel more comfortable trading other stars on this team way before Garrett. Way before Garrett. That's the number one guy who I want to make sure that he's here for the long term. But of course, it has to be a two-way street. If Garrett doesn't want to be here, if he's sick of the constant losing and the justification of losses and just how it doesn't bother anyone else, and just is like he has no intention of re-signing or extending on a big contract, then I could see the Jets possibly working the phones a little bit. But again, according to Cimini, all speculation here. Just wanted to give my 2 cents on it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And as always, go Jets.